Hello and welcome to today's cryptocurrency technical analysis, where today we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin chart, and some of the altcoins. So Bitcoin, let's cover first the resistance. You could probably remember this one of my previous videos. We are looking at the golden pocket Fibonacci retracement. If you can remember, this is simply using the Fibonacci tool from the high of the 10th of May. From the high of the 10th of May down to the low, put at $28,000. On the 22nd of June, move that across, and you can see that we right here very clearly we have literally hit the top of the golden pocket. If you go down to the 4-hour chart, you can see that it obviously went hit in the bottom of the golden pocket. Okay, got a rejection and another attempt at the bottom of the golden pocket, got a much larger rejection. Okay, and in the end it held the bottom of the range. Okay, and another move to the upside right now. Okay, so you can see the precision of the on the top of the golden pocket. Yesterday we hit it to the absolute dollar. Okay, so I don't think anybody's surprised that these levels are always really well respected. To be honest, they are, and that is the current resistance on the Bitcoin chart. So that is the first resistance we absolutely need to be aware of. Okay, so I would ask this question to you watching this video, whether you've been watching me for a couple videos now, or whether you're here for the first time today. Answer this question for me, okay? And that is it now a good time to long, or is it now a good time to buy? Well, think about that for a couple of seconds. Okay, I'll give you a couple of seconds. Well, I very much hope you gave the right answer. Of course not, my friends watching this. It is never a good time to long into the golden pocket resistance. It is not a good idea. Okay, we have to remember we are trading high probability trades. You do not have a high probability trade longing into the golden pocket. It's just not a very good idea. So is it a good time to long? Of course not. It's not a good time to long into this resistance level. Let's just remind ourselves that, does that mean it cannot go higher? Of course price can go higher. What I'm not saying is price cannot just continue to go up, and that is definitely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you want to get into a sort of long positions, you have to think to yourself, so longing is a better idea when at support. You are much better to long when price is retracing down to a support level where you have your confluence and high probability longs. You have to think, is that if you are longing now, yes, there's a probability that price can just continue go up. Yes, of course there is. Okay, but what you have to think is that the probabilities are not in your favor. So when you're longing to such resistance, okay, you just have to think of in terms of probabilities. So your best long is always gonna be a retracement. Never is it gonna be when you're going up into this resistance, such as where we are right now. So one thing to bear in mind is that this might be a little too advanced for some people. Depends on how long have you been trading. But what will you have to remember is that we will have a CME gap. Okay, so to track this, you can look at the Bitcoin futures, and that is BTC1 exclamation point. Okay, it's obviously closed over the weekend, and when the futures market is closed on until the CME opens back up on Sunday evening, we will have a CME gap. Okay, so this is something to be aware of. Do not forget that the gap, because, well, I do not trade primarily off of the CME gaps, but it is always something to be aware of because it has recently been very well respected. Okay, as you all know, last week from closing up here, we opened down here, and we rallied back up to fill the gap, and then we moved back down again. So we do not know yet where the CME gap will be opened. That will be dependent on Sunday. But should we move up? Okay, should we move up, we will have a gap to the downside. And should we move down over the weekend, we will have a gap to the upside. So this is just something we do not trade off of this, but this is something we have to absolutely be aware of right now. It's just an absolute requirement, in my opinion. Okay, so I would not long trade up here right now, but not financial advice, of course. Do whatever you want. You can do it because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my opinion. So if we are going to break up again here to the upside, well, then what we can do is actually, this is the way you actually use your fibs. Okay, so bring it to the last major high, to the last major low, and if you break through this, and if you break through this, this is, then we can pull it to the all-time high. Okay, around here. So this is the all-time high to the all-time low, and that gives us a new resistance zone. So I'm gonna put it exactly at the level. Okay, so we have 0.618 on the $51,137, and we have our top of the golden pocket is a $52,660. Okay, and again, always a level you have to be aware of, an extremely well respected level. Sometimes it yes, it only gives a smaller retracement, but you still have to remember this from the last high, this one from the last high of the retracement to the low was still a 9%, almost a 9% retracement. So you might think not think, but I mean, you seen it here, it gave a 9% retracement, so they are very well respected. The big one people are looking at is a $50,000. Okay, so let's put it right here. 50,000. So so you have your 50k level here, and I will explain this very, very quickly. So, and what we can say is this is key. What I mean is, this is a very important level. Obviously, of course, it's a retracement at the moment, but the thing is that I would keep in mind that is a potential scenario here, is that that a lot of people are like really bearish around here. Well, I'm not really that bearish though. I'm pretty bullish, to be honest with you. So what I think though is a lot of people are gonna be bearish, thinking like, oh, $50,000 is a really good short position, right? So we just have to keep in mind, I obviously acknowledge that this can reject here. Okay, and this is a resistance, obviously, so I'm not like saying this isn't a resistance sort of thing. So if we bring this back down, Okay, if you bring this back down here, I acknowledge this is a resistance. I'm also saying I would never long here. What I do have to think, and I think this is what makes you a really good trader, okay? And this is having to recognize what a lot of traders are going to be thinking. Like I've said it before, a lot of traders are just bad traders, to be honest with you. There are a lot of people get it wrong. The majority of traders lose money. So you don't really want to think like the majority, do you? You want to think outside the box. And I have the thought. I've been thinking that a lot of people are gonna be thinking like, oh, it's $50,000. This is gonna be a really good short position, yeah. So yeah, that obviously leads into a scenario of a big short squeeze. If you're trading back in 2019, you had a really good scenario where we had where we had a you had a really good scenario where we had a rise up here, okay? This was in back in May of 2019. People were really bearish around $6,000. Let's put it here, $6,000. Okay, a lot of people were really bearish at that level. So because obviously back in 2018, Bitcoin put in a massive descending triangle, which did break to the downside, but the floor of the descending triangle was $6,000. So a lot of people back in 2019, when we were rallying back up, instead of trading with the trend, a lot of people were like, hey, I'm gonna short $6,000 because that is a resistance, yeah. So well, the thing is, well, I guess it was kind of big resistance level, but also it just ended with a massive short squeeze, okay, because so many people started to short $6,000. Your larger traders literally just squeeze you straight through the level. So what you have to remember is we can get a potential scenario, okay? What you have to remember that there is a potential that it goes like the $6,000 level. So we get a 2019 scenario where everybody is just like, hey, $50,000, this is a really good short, yeah. So just cause it's $50,000, you end up breaking the level. So this obviously require a reaction, but I think it's just something very important to be aware of. So what does a short squeeze look like? So a lot of people are wondering, what is a short squeeze? How does that work? So I'm gonna explain to you very quickly. Okay, a short squeeze is a lot of people. Let's say the small fish of the world. Okay, let's say anything below 10 bitcoins. If you're trading below 10 bitcoins, you're a very small fish in the market. So you got your small fishes, and they are like, hey, $50,000, this is a good short position. So they pile in with their short sells. And you know, when you have your small fish, you have your whales or your bigger traders that are actually trading with thousands of bitcoins. They recognize that the majority are thinking they're taking millions, obviously less than bitcoins, 10 bitcoins or below. They can still be trading like, let's say, $1,000,000, but in the grand scheme of things, $1,000,000 is really not a lot of money. And you have to think, if all the small fishes and they all come together to generate, let's say, $2 billion worth of volume, you might think $2 billion worth of volume where all the small fishes come together and they take $2 billion as a collective in short positions. Still, $2 billion is not a It's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things in this market. So with the 2 billion shorts, the larger traders are essentially uh, squeezing them. So they recognize there's a lot of money and a lot of liquidity resting if they can essentially squeeze those shorts. And as prices push up through the level, okay, as prices push up to the level, they are getting either the small fishes are either getting liquidated or they have to cover their shorts. And how do you cover your shorts? By buying back Bitcoin, which in turn pushes the price even higher. Okay, so that is a very brief description of a short squeeze. I hope you understand, and I hope you like that. If you did, you absolutely smash that like button as hard as you can. Copy the link of the video, share it with your friends, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, and share it everywhere. Okay, so where are we? So we are on the weekend. We have low volume. If you are longing, you're 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 longing into resistance. Uh, you have a lot of people that are just let's say they're just hesitant. Okay, and that's not a bad thing. Okay, you have to remember, no trade is a trade in itself. Yeah, I don't think there's any need to jump into a trade right now. So let's say you have missed this move. Okay, you have missed this trade. So what are we gonna be looking at next? So that's what I'll be covering next. Okay, so if you remember, our old trading range was from this daily level to this 618. Okay, so what we can do now is pull our fixed range tool from the inside of this range, and as you can see, our range point of control, we rejected exactly right here. Okay, then later we have reclaimed it as support, then went back up again. Okay, so we can do next is pull our Fibonacci retracement from this low to this high. You can see our Fibonacci golden pocket is around our range point of control, so this is a very decent level of support. Okay, if we put it from our next impulse wave down, okay, our bottom of the golden pocket is still around our range support. Okay, so this is a very decent level of support. Okay, so if price just came back down, okay, then you might expect a bounce. Okay, so one thing to bear in mind is that if we come back to this previous value area, okay, we can just rotate back down to the lows. Okay, you can just rotate back down here. So you might want to set your alert here. Okay, this will alert you right if you click this right side. Okay, this will set an alert. Okay, it will alert you if price comes back down. So we will not know if this will be an ABC retracement. Okay, or you can put in a higher low then continue back up. Okay, we do not know. So once price is around here, we can monitor the volume. So if you see that people are jumping into this major support, then you might possibly you expect a bounce. Okay, we expect a bounce here. So if we break this, our next major support is around this daily. Okay, if we let's say we break this daily also, well, I expect the prices to go below $40,000. Okay, so but we're not gonna be thinking about $40,000 first, because we have our major support right here. Okay, we have our major support right here. These are two major supports right here. So if we break these two levels, then we're gonna be looking at the next level. Okay, so we have our we have our next resistance just under $50,000. Okay, it's exactly $49,900. Okay, so but you have to keep in mind this psychological level also, this $50,000. So yeah, that's probably much it. Okay, so what if you are asking yourself, what if price does not retrace down? Okay, well, it can just go back up. Okay, it can just go back up right like that. Okay, so what if it does not retrace down? So if it does not retrace down, well, it does not retrace down, so that's just part of the game. Okay, that's just part of the game. What I will tell you is that if you miss the long, okay, it does not matter. Okay, it really does not matter. It's irrelevant. Okay, so I know people get upset. Okay, they get really annoyed, they get depressed. Okay, that they have not bought in for this move to the upside. Okay, so but one thing I will tell you, that it's really not relevant. Okay, your best trade, is always ahead of you. Your best trade is just around the corner. Okay, so there's no point in dwelling about what you cannot change. Okay, you cannot change the past. Okay, one thing for sure is this will serve as a lesson for your next best trade. Okay, for me personally, I have made best trades of my life, but I know that's not the best trade. Okay, the next best trade is always around the corner. It's always ahead of you. So now that's the thing to keep in mind. Okay, that's the exciting thing about trading. But the next one is, if the important thing as a trader. Okay, the important thing for us traders is we don't need to know where price is going. Okay, we need to know what level are we trading in. Okay, we know our levels to the downside, we know our levels to the upside. Okay, so that's the beauty of trading. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.